وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
Bismillah. So now we have to be very alert. I know this is difficult at this time of the day, but inshallah, you know the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ, that the best amongst you, the best, are those people who make an effort. Brother Ahmed, I can hear you. Jazakallah khair. So the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, girls, I need you to all be sitting down now. Zainab. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ, the best amongst you are the people who consistently work very hard to learn this Qur'an. You are doing that inshallah today. We have just one session left. I'm trying to motivate you back to inshallah. Yeah? Because this is difficult, the last session, for everybody as human beings. وَعَلَّمَهُ, and the people who then, once they learn it, they will teach it to others with the same passion, the same motivation, and the same mihna, effort. Yeah, so inshallah, don't underestimate your time here. This, if Allah accepts it, inshallah, will be the best highlights of this life. Imagine that, yeah? When we look back, we will think, I spent that day, whole day for Qur'an. Highlights of the life. Whole night or part of the night praying to Allah, yeah? The Qur'an, wherever there is Qur'an, that's it. So I'm trying to rejuvenate myself and you. So let's give this our last push, inshallah. Khair, so we have so far covered, alhamdulillah, from the individual, the basis of the foundation of the Muslim character in Surah Al-Mu'minun, then a mature personality in the characteristics of the Ibadur Rahman, and then from that to the next level, at the family level, what is Amal Salih at that level, and then at the social level we have just, alhamdulillah, looked at what is Amal Salih at a societal level. We are now going to look at the global picture now. Because Allah Ta'ala, He sent His Rasul with the guidance and the deen of haqq, the true deen, so that it would dominate over all others. And we will look at that inshallah in the later sessions. So let's have a look at this then, the last session on the collective system. Now, if you look at your diagram at the back of your course booklet, you have actually done one of those squares, yeah, already, because as Ustad Asim, he asked you to list the 16 points from the previous session. So you have actually done one of those already, alhamdulillah. So when we do the last exercise today of just recapping everything, then you have alhamdulillah done one portion already. Khair. Let's then proceed, inshallah. The collective system. Just some points that you should make a note of, how many times Allah has mentioned certain words, and hence they are very important. I'm not going to go through them, but for you to make a note. And as you will be doing your extended learning, please do your extended learning, yeah? Please, I request you to do that. Please do your extended learning. So you, inshallah ta'ala, grow with Qur'an. Let's have a look at the overview. I'm not going to cover the whole surah. That's not the plan. That was not the plan today anyway. I'm going to take roughly 6 ayat and one other ayat, ayat 13, to give you the main picture that we want to present today, and then the rest you will do as extended learning. So the basis of a collective Islamic system, and these are the main points: the rights of Allah, the rights of the Messenger, and our rights with each other as Muslimin. And after that I will not be covering Islam and Iman, which is very integral to this, but because of the duration that we have, we've selected the ayat to present. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So Surah Al-Hujurath. Hujurat means what? Who knows? Somebody? It was part of the vocabulary, yes? Private chambers. Jazakallah khair. Yeah? And I have some pictures that I will show you of Masjid al-Nabawi, a model of Masjid al-Nabawi and the private chambers, to bring this to life, inshallah. Remind me if I forget. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you who believe. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he says that when Allah Ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, pay more attention because Allah is addressing you, believers. Straight away we need to perk up and think. Listen. La tuqaddimu bayna yadayi Allahi wa rasulihi. Wattaqullah. Allah Ta'ala is saying here, see, too many electronic devices, they confuse me. SubhanAllah. Khair, I'm there now, alhamdulillah. Oh, you who have believed, do not put yourselves before Allah and His Messenger, but in fact have taqwa of Allah. Verily Allah is all hearing and all knowing. This is teaching us the best of akhlaq and adab towards Allah and His Messenger. Think, as a global community, this is amal salih on a collective level, global level. The best akhlaq we should have towards Allah and His Messenger. What is that? La tuqaddimu. Do not put yourselves in front of. Yes, do not put yourselves in front of. Who? Allah and His Rasul. So what does that mean? It means do not be hasty in deciding your affairs regarding the deen before Allah and His Messenger has said something. There is actually some incident that happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ regarding this context. A tribe, Banu Tamim, they came to the Prophet ﷺ to ask regarding who should be sent as their leader. And the two best Ashabul Nabi, Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhuma, they were in that gathering, in that meeting. Abu Bakr had a certain opinion, you should send so and so as the leader. Umar had another opinion, you should send so and so as a leader. So Banu Tamim are there, they're asking the Prophet ﷺ, and now before the Prophet ﷺ has answered, this is being said. So they are saying something before the Prophet ﷺ said. Yeah, before Allah has mentioned something through revelation to the Prophet ﷺ. So Allah Ta'ala is teaching us, do not put your opinion before what Allah and His Rasul say. Yeah, you see the context, and we'll come back to the context a few times. Because really that brings this Quran to life. Because this Quran is not just a theoretical book. This is a very practical book. In fact, you cannot appreciate Quran until and unless we act upon it. We can't. So that's why we always look at the context. How was this revealed? Why was it revealed? And what was the impact on people? And this is really beautiful in that regard. Also means do not have an opinion before you know what Allah and His Rasul have said regarding a matter. So the very famous incident of people, they slaughtered an animal before the Eid Salah in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Yes, they did this, and this is wrong. The Prophet ﷺ said, you have to do this again now. Because they put their opinion first. No, listen, wait. Understand what Allah and His Rasul say regarding every matter. I want you to think of this as a collective global, on a collective global level, not just a personal, yeah? We as a global entity need to always ask, what does Allah and His Rasul say before we act? Yeah? As a global entity, not just as individuals. Beautiful incident. The Prophet ﷺ, he sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu to Yemen. Yeah? You know the story, alhamdulillah. And he asked him, how will you judge between the people when you are there? How will you judge? He said something beautiful and it made the Prophet ﷺ very happy. He said, I will judge by the Quran. And if I do not find the evidence or the solution there, I will then turn to your sunnah, Ya Rasulullah. And then if not, then I will go to ijtihad. I will make a concerted effort to try to extract what Allah and His Rasul have said and then make a decision based on that. You see how the Prophet ﷺ, he's training him as a leader. And look at him, mashallah, he knows. I will always put Allah and His Rasul first, and then based on that, if I don't see something directly related, I will then try my best to try to extract, because the information is there. I need to make ijtihad, I need to make a concerted effort to try and extract the rulings. Prophet ﷺ was very happy about this. You know what he did? Anybody know? No? I've got many chocolate here, I want to give it. Not ask him. The Prophet ﷺ, he struck his chest. Subhanallah. He struck his chest and he said, all praise is for Allah who rendered suitable the messenger of Allah, meaning Mu'adh ibn Jabal, and caused him to be in agreement with that which pleases his messenger. Beautiful. Look at that love. This deen is about love. Loving Allah, loving the Rasul. You love Allah and His Rasul, you can't hate people then. How can you? Can't happen. But you will hate kufr because Allah hates it. You will hate nifaq because Allah hates it. So the conclusion from that, really, to move on, is that the Muslim Ummah and the global community should never decide or have an opinion before knowing Allah and His Messenger's opinion. And they submit to that. So they do not put themselves in front of Allah and His Rasul. And if we just come to a Muslim community level, just say for now, or even at the household level, we should never decide a thing without thinking what Allah and His Rasul say. Never. Because sometimes we might think this is just a very simple logical thing. No. Find out what Allah and His Rasul say and do not ever put an opinion other than that. Always listen to that and obey that. That's difficult many times because you have a very strong inclination towards something. And it makes sense to you, but it's not right. This is actually very different to the concept of freedom. Unlimited freedom. Yes? Because the mu'min is like a horse. A horse that is tied to a peg. Let's say that peg has a rope attached to it and it is of, let's say, 100 meters in length. Automatically that will create a circle which is 100 meters in radius. Within that 100 meter radius circle, the horse can go anywhere, but cannot leave the 100 meters. Yes? Agreed? Simple, yeah? That's the mu'min. Within that, what Allah and His Rasul have said, given us the boundary, we can make mashwara, we can decide things. But we do not go beyond. So we cannot 100% show hands, vote that now from today alcohol is halal now. Even if we all agree. Yeah? Or pig is halal now. No. Allah and His Rasul have set the boundaries. We have to keep within that. So la tuqaddimu, do not go beyond and in front of the Prophet ﷺ and before that Allah, of course. Also this shows us some etiquettes that we should not also walk in front of our elders. Especially our teachers, our scholars, our parents. Ulama have extracted these things from this, yeah? I thought I'd mention it because that's important. Because we lack manners. We do. We lack manners because we're not taught it or we don't learn it. In fact, we don't know where to go to learn them sometimes. But Allah Ta'ala, He is teaching us here. Let's move on. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi wa la tajharu lahu bil qawli ka jahri ba'dikum li ba'din an tahbata a'malukum wa antum la tash'urun. Going back to the incident, Abu Bakr and Umar radiyallahu anhuma raised their voice a bit in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam because Abu Bakr said so and so should be the leader, Umar said so and so. And Abu Bakr said, you always oppose me, you just want to oppose me. Yeah? And in that their voices were raised a bit. And then these ayat were revealed. Also related to Thabit ibn Qais radiallahu anhu, who used to actually talk on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ when many tribes would come to debate, etc. And he was known to have a very loud voice. You know, certain people are naturally loud. And when these ayat were revealed, he locked himself up. The Prophet ﷺ inquired, where is Thabit? The Sahaba went to look for him. They found that he had told his wife, lock me in where? Do you know where? Not cupboard. لا تقف ما ليس لك به علم. Anybody? No, not in Hujurath. Stable. Horse's stable. He humiliated himself to that extent. Why? You know why? Yeah, but why? Because he said to himself, I always raise my voice in front of the Prophet ﷺ. Naturally, I'm so loud. So this ayah has been revealed for me. That don't raise your voice in front of Allah and His Rasul, because what will happen? أَن تَحْبَطَ أَعْمَالُكُمْ. Your whole deeds will be null and void, worthless now. Finish. Multiply by 0, you get 0, yeah? And he started saying, I am person of the Jahannam. Look at that. And then when the Sahaba came back to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ said, no, he is Ahlul Jannah. He's from the Jannah, and he was Shaheed in a battle later on. And what was the reaction of Abu Bakr and Umar after this? Abu Bakr, he lowered his volume so much. Umar had to whisper. Umar started whispering in front of the Prophet ﷺ. To the extent that he had to ask him, Umar, what did you say? Allahu Akbar. Look at that respect. And today, the louder we are, the more clever we think we are. Like the donkey in Surah Al-Luqman. The worst voice and noise is the braying of the donkey. Especially at school, and the girls as well, yeah? Yani the girls too much, yeah? They have to scream and shout. They just have to. Yani as if nobody's going to notice them unless they scream, shout, and if a spider comes into the class, that's it, khalas. You have a headache now. Yeah? Even if they don't see it, they just hear about it, they will start screaming and shouting. That's exceptional maybe, yeah? But I'm saying the general mannerism should be not to not to raise our voices. And there's a beautiful saying, I'll just translate it. Empty vessels make lots of noise. Yeah? Empty vessels make lots of noise. So the people who are empty inside, they make lots of noise. And the people who have something of value inside, they will humble their voices. Especially in front of Allah and His Rasul. And how about us today regarding the Prophet ﷺ? Of course, we do not raise our voice in front of the Prophet because he is not alive ﷺ, but when we go to visit his grave in Medina, in Masjid al-Nabwi, we should lower our voice. We should do that. Also, the ulama, the scholars, warathatul anbiya, they are the inheritors of the prophets. We should lower our voices in front of them. Lower our voices in front of our good leaders, our teachers. This is respect. This is what this is teaching us. Because the problem is that the person would, as a result, can lose all his good deeds. Because this is actually the means to disrespecting the Prophet ﷺ. Look at the respect of the Prophet ﷺ, this ayah is telling us. Not to even raise your volume. Forget about anything else. A person's whole deeds could be null and void. Yeah? One explanation, one tafsir, although there are many. One explanation is raising your voice could lead to annoying the Prophet ﷺ. Annoying the Prophet ﷺ can lead to Allah Ta'ala taking away tawfiq from you to do good. That can lead you eventually to kufr. Can. This is one understanding of this. Another understanding is that a person, and this is from a few hadiths, that a person may say a word and that takes him to many depths of the hellfire. Just one word. Or can say one word and it can raise his ranks in the Jannah. I know when the Prophet ﷺ was telling the Ashab al-Nabi ﷺ about this, yes, ﷺ, this again is Mu'adh ibn Jabal. This is actually Nawawi's Hadith 29. The Prophet ﷺ said, may your mother lose you. Yeah, this was a phrase. That is there anything that topples people on their faces into the hellfire other than what their tongues say? So hence what we say, we need to be very careful. Especially as a community, are we listening to Allah and His Rasul? Yeah? Or are we trying to raise our voice over that? And you know, as soon as somebody says to you, Allah and His Rasul say this, you should never say, no, I don't think so, because that doesn't make sense. You say, okay, I will go and research whether what you are saying is in Quran and Sunnah. Yes, then I will be able to accept it. But for now, I will obey what you have said until I verify it. So this shows us the immense respect that we should have for the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, moving on. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَغُضُّونَ أَصْوَاتَهُمْ إِنَّ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. Aisha, what is the meaning of يَغُضُّونَ? Because there was vocabulary. Ikram, aswat. Shahin, aswat. Sister Samia, yagudduna. La ilaha illallah. We have to, yes. Good. Verily the people who lower their voices near the Prophet ﷺ, Rasulullah, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ امْتَحَنَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ لِلتَّقْوَى. These are the people whose hearts Allah Ta'ala He has tested for righteousness. لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَرَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. And for them there is forgiveness and there is a great reward. Who are these people? These are the people when they were tested by being told this, and then they lowered their voices now in front of the Prophet ﷺ. This is Abu Bakr, Umar, etc. Yeah? And of course all of us, inshallah, who do this, this is a test for us. Allah Ta'ala, He has tested us, and as a result of that test, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma says, He purified their hearts from everything which is disgusting and dirty, and placed in the heart taqwa and fear of Allah. Yes? So Allah Ta'ala, He is testing them. So if we want to be successful in this test, can we close that door please? We have to lower our voice in terms of the opinion of the Prophet ﷺ. And then it goes on to another incident. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُنَادُونَكَ مِنْ وَرَاءِ الْحُجُرَاتِ. Verily the people who were calling you, O Muhammad ﷺ, from behind the Hujurath. Now before I forget, let's show you the Hujurath, yeah? Because I might forget. Okay. You see this now, yeah? Oh, sorry. Let's take it from here. So this is a model that the Exhibition Islam brothers have put together of Masjid al-Nabawi and the Hujurath next to it. Yeah, we can see that, yeah? I'll just go through it so you can have an appreciation of the Hujurath. Because you want to visualize, yeah? Look at that, subhanAllah, lovely. Inside the rooms, how big was the Hujurath? These are Hujurath, cabins, yeah? And you see these houses in many countries, they still have houses like this. So just for us to have an appreciation of Medina at the time and the Hujurath. So the ayah is saying here, the people who come and they call you from behind the Hujurath. Now this is an incident, I'm not going to go into too much detail, I'll give you the overall understanding of it, inshallah. That this person came who was a leader of his tribe, who had become Muslim, but they were Bedouin, not very civilized, not very cultured, yeah, because they were in the desert. The environment made them very harsh. Yeah, no, they didn't mean to be harsh, they were. This man comes to the Prophet ﷺ's masjid, and this is at a time when the Prophet ﷺ is spending time during Zuhr and Asr with his wives. Yeah? And he says, "Ukhruj ilayna, ya Muhammad." Says, "Oh Muhammad, come out to me, or come out to see us." And then he says that whoever honors me has real honor, and whoever dishonors me is dishonored. So this is the chief of a tribe, yeah, who has become Muslim, but is not cultured. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he hears this, he says this only refers to Allah. That whoever honors him is honored, and whoever dishonors him is dishonored. And this, of course, this annoyed the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah? These people are being taught how to conduct themselves with the Prophet ﷺ. Allah Ta'ala says, أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Most of them, they don't have aql. You remember the aql, what was the antonym? Juhl. Yeah? Jahala. So they don't have this. So they are very emotionally erratic. They don't realize what they're doing, yeah? And they are not cultured, civilized. Allah Ta'ala is telling them, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ صَبَرُوا. If they had only waited. We'll go back to the ayah so you can see it. حَتَّى تَخْرُجَ إِلَيْهِمْ لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. If they had only waited until you had come out to see them, that would have been better for you. Wallahu ghafurur rahim. And Allah Ta'ala, He is forgiving, merciful. Meaning, you did this not out of spite. You didn't know any better. Now the Quran is telling you, teaching you, this is how you should talk to the Prophet ﷺ. And one other thing I didn't mention from the previous ayah, Allah Ta'ala also says, do not talk to the Prophet ﷺ as you talk to each other. Yes, there is a difference. For example, the way we talk to each other as friends, or brothers who are close in terms of age, is different to how you talk to your dad, yeah? There's a much more respect there. So Allah Ta'ala is telling us as a global, come back to the global thing, yeah? Global issue, global community, do not treat Muhammad ﷺ as any ordinary person. He has a very high status. So you need to have that in mind all the time. Look at that. And you know what? This is beautiful. We as human beings need a role model. We look up to heroes. Inevitably, this is built in within us. Many nations, they have to build heroes. They have statues of heroes. If you go to London town, city, you will see many statues. People look up to them, aspire to them, want to be like them, want to do things that they did, because this is in us. Allah Ta'ala is saying for the whole globe, there is Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You look up to him and you respect him, you honor him. This will keep you united as a global community. Look at that, subhanallah, beautiful. And if the people really understood that, how would they disrespect the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Because this is the biggest benefit we can gain from him, alayhi salatu wasalam. To have this connectivity, you see, we all become connected. You see, if you look at nationalism as a concept, one of the things that binds people as a nation are the national heroes. They all agree upon this person is our national hero. This binds people together. Yes? The Prophet ﷺ will bind humanity together in that regard. That's why this is a collective aspect that we're looking at. Anyway, coming back to this, if they had just waited and had sabr, that would have been better for them if they had waited for the Prophet ﷺ to come out. Now, how did the Ashabul Nabi act after this? It's beautiful, really. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, subhanAllah, you look at the seerah and you can't avoid Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. Everywhere, Abdullah ibn Abbas, subhanAllah. And Abu Ubaidah radiallahu anhu. They would not knock at their teacher's door. Yeah? They would wait for the teacher to come out of the house. To that extent, they honored their teacher. They wouldn't knock. Yeah? After this. They would wait for the teacher to come out and then they would. You know, subhanAllah, I think it's the Chinese culture, they really respect teachers a lot. The way we should really. We don't respect teachers enough. That's why the ilm doesn't come. And more importantly, the tarbiyah doesn't come. Yeah? Like Ustad Asim was mentioning, tarbiyah will come with the personal contact, touch, company. We have to respect the teachers and the people of that stature. Okay, let's move on, inshallah. I'm not going to actually do tafsir of this part. I'm just going to mention it so you can see the link. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. This is telling us very simply, collectively, if you hear a piece of news or a rumor, do not act upon it because that will lead to you oppressing somebody. Confirm it, affirm it, make sure it's true, then act upon it. Otherwise you will oppress somebody. As I said, I'm not going to do tafsir of these two, I'll just mention so that there's the continuity. And then it's talking about if the Prophet ﷺ here, وَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ فِيكُمْ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ, you should know that amongst you is the Prophet ﷺ, Rasulullah. And if he were to obey you in much of the matters, yeah, you want this, you want that, he would just follow what you say, you would actually be in difficulty. You would make life difficult for yourselves. But Allah has endeared to you the faith and has made it pleasing in your hearts, and He has made hateful to you disbelief, defiance and disobedience. I'm just reading this so that you see the continuity. Yeah? I'm not doing tafsir of these ayat. Those are the rightly guided. It is a bounty from Allah and favor, and Allah is knowing and wise. Meaning, listen to the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah, obey him. And now another thing that is mentioned here, that if two factions of the Muslims, if two groups of Muslims, they fight, yeah, if they have a fight, they have a dispute, what to do? And if two factions among the believers should fight, then make settlement between them. فَأَصْلِحُوا. Yeah, that was part of the vocabulary. But if one of them oppresses the other, then fight against the one that oppresses until it returns to the orders of Allah. Meaning that help the one who's being oppressed to try and do the islah, the betterment of the one who is oppressing. And if it returns, meaning the oppressor returns to what is right, then make settlement between them in justice and act justly. Meaning that don't take sides, be just. Allah loves those who act justly. And the believers are brothers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. The believers are one brotherhood. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. So make reconciliation between your brothers. We have got to think on a global level for this. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ have taqwa of Allah لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, so that you may be shown mercy. Khair, we will now stop, and when we come back, we want to take just 2 ayat, that's it. Maybe 3 maximum, to wrap up this global concept of Amalus Salih. So far in this surah, we have talked about not having an opinion above the opinion of Allah and His Rasul, to respect Allah, and of course more focus here is respecting the status of the Prophet ﷺ. And if we do that as a global community, then we will be united. But if we do have disputes, then Allah Ta'ala has also told us how to get rid of those disputes. The next section will then look at how do we bring this fabric together of unity. What are those 6 things that we need to avoid and be mindful of to bring about the fabric of that global community, inshallah. So we'll stop there, and after Maghrib we will resume. It will not be a long session because 2, maybe 3 ayat, that's it, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk wa jazakumullahu khairan.